Gosh, that was quick. Bugger. I'll turn the heater off because it's making a buzzing sound. Gosh, it is way too early. It's Monday, December the 23rd, 2024. Just made a cup of coffee. I need to take a sip. Taking a sip of coffee. Oh, I know what I called this one. Why anything? Just like a child. The reason I put that was because I have to acknowledge that some people, good people, not just some people, but good people, so I try not to interact too much with total strangers, but oh dear, can't wake up. Yeah, some people enjoy fighting. They enjoy conflict, and they enjoy that testosterone rush. I mean, not just men, but you know. Let me turn a light on because it's not mood lighting, is it? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's not bad lighting. Okay. Yeah, some people really enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy a debate. I enjoy sitting down and rationally, but I don't debate without a reason. So there's a reasoning behind my debate. I mean, I never went to any of those posh schools where they put you in a debate class and they get you to take up a contrary position in an argument because you're passionate about this and somebody else is passionate about that, and then you swap places. And it's like, no, because I can't be passionate about that because I don't think that is valid. So it becomes, I mean, this in English schools, in the posh schools mostly, they're taught how to debate. It's part of their curriculum is debate class, and some people go on to be in debate clubs and various things, and they usually end up as politicians. This is the posh schools in Britain. It's part of the vetting process, or the grooming process for future sociopaths. Actually, they're already being trained as sociopaths, but future politicians, because sociopaths always make the best politicians because they need to consistently lie and engage you with bullshit. Sorry. Distractions. Anyway, but the point is, last night I saw a post by a friend of mine who I follow. She's really good author, good talker, good debater, great writer. I mean, just all round good person. But she said, oh, she was going to be on a podcast on Spaces on X, formerly Twitter. So I thought, I'll give it a listen. But then, I mean, I don't go on X or Twitter very much. I post stuff because that's all I know how to do. I mean, it's a little bit complicated if you get into, trying to be professional on it, or, professional, trying to be knowledgeable about the technology and where to post things and why, what has the most responses, using it as a platform for pontification. I wasn't, but I listened, and I was listening, and I thought it was an interesting spaces, because it seems like you can take a live broadcast and then turn it into something that becomes like a podcast, but then people are allowed to join the room. It's a bit like a Zoom meeting, I suppose, but it's like a little club that this guy runs out of New York. He seemed like a moderate, like interesting guy, but like with definite ideas. And he had Danny on as his guest. So he's the host, she's the guest host, and the subject was interesting to me because it's one of Danny's subjects, which is why she was invited on the show. But then there's a whole bunch of people in the chat room, and some can speak, some can't speak. And I whilst I was watching and listening, I noticed, little ways of doing it. So I thought, what if I push this button? It's a bit like this, really. I mean, I'm not. I mean, I could learn all how to do this all flash and professional and put a green screen up and present myself, but no, I just want to in the moment. So in the moment, I pushed the right button and I ended up chatting on there as well, which I sort of chatted in the defense of Danny Katz, which I shouldn't have done because that's not my place. But it just turned into, it started out off okay, and Danny was great, and the guy Jeremiah, who was running this podcast, were good, but then the people in the chat, got on their passion subject and then started getting overly testosterone driven, and it was like a male dominated clan. I mean, there were a couple of women in there, but but it became very aggressive very quickly. People shouting, louder and louder, and just cutting people off. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. And I've seen this in school playgrounds when I was a kid. I could remember seeing these fights in school playgrounds and going, "God, what an idiot!" And I wasn't picking a side. I was just thinking, how idiotic. But so I sort of jumped in and said, "Oh, I want to talk," and tried to get it back to some form of sense, sort of interesting debate. You can have an interesting, compassionate, passionate conversation, but if you trigger somebody and they trigger somebody else and they trigger, very soon you got a ball of shite. But it got back to being good. I got to say my piece, the whole, like, let's learn to be kind, let's learn to be loving, let's talk to each other, and not escalate things into war very quickly, which is basically my chief complaint about humanity. Excuse me. My chief complaint about humanity is using the old templates on new issues. That's my big thing. It's like, but it's not really new issues, you see. This is where it kind of sounds a bit hokey. It's not really new issues. It's dominance. So somebody's trying to dominate you, and instead of passively throwing up your hands and going, nah, I'm going to do something better. I'm going over here. You can follow me if you want. If you don't want to, just cheers. I need space. So I walk away. And, some people might see that as cowardly because I won't stand there and put my dukes up. But I will. I'll engage in a compassionate debate, but I won't engage in physical violence, or I try not to get too aggressive. Sure, I got a short fuse when people start being really, really mean and I can't get out of the way, or being violent towards somebody near me. I step in and try and diffuse the situation, but it's it's hard to be a pacifist in a society run by violence and aggression. It's hard. I'll not deny it, but I'm going to stay a pacifist. And being peaceful is more important to me than being right. Being healthy. I mean, this is what it really comes down to, you know. Would you rather be healthy or would you rather be right? And a lot of people would say, no, I want to be both. Or, no, I'm going to be right and healthy. It's like, no, no, if it was an option, one or the other, that's a tough one for many people. And I'm like, no, it's not tough. Be healthy. Be healthy mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Be healthy. It's simple. Step out of an argument and go, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. I'm getting all riled up for nothing. So, yeah. Yeah. But it was interesting. I mean, Twitter is X, formerly Twitter. Feel like, you know, it's going to come down to the symbol and then it'll be like Prince. It's like his name's not Prince anymore. Oh, okay. It's yeah. But they're allowing posts to go up, which, you know, I mean, I've had trouble on here and most social platforms because I'm outspoken, but I'm outspoken and passionate and I'm just keeping it real. I don't try to goad people into arguments. That's the worst thing. I want to entice them into a debate about what they believe. And that's more important because it's influence, you see. You have to use your influence. You can't use your dominance and no, there's no need. Anyway, changing the world in increments by influence and intention. There you go. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, it's working. How do I know it's working? I've got nobody to fight with. I'm not alone. I'm all one. Yeah. So it's the eve of Christmas Eve, isn't it? Was it Monday? Tuesday? Yeah. It's the eve of Christmas Eve. And today will be one of those days where, you know, I might have to go down the shops and get some comestibles, some food. And I'll be surrounded by people doing last minute panic shopping for Christmas Day. Just trying to give you something for Christmas. Love. That's it. Unconditional love. There you are. No, you can have it. It's fine. You have my unconditional love. All right. That's it. Can't think of anything else to say apart from I probably got up too early. Cheers. Or buy my music if you get it. There's a last minute gift giving. I'll put a link in the show notes. Show notes. I'll put a link in in this when I post it. I'll put a link to my Bandcamp page and to my Linktree, which will take you to places where you can purchase things from me. The thing is, digital purchase of my music, you can instantly send that to somebody, you see, because it's a digital thing. So it's a last minute gift. There you go. Give people my music. Give them one of my songs. Give them all of my songs. Who gives a shit? Oops, sorry. Merry holidays. Oi. Aligning yourself with peace and love is the most important thing you can do. If you want to see peace and love, be peace and love. All right. I love you unconditionally. Bye now. Cheers then.